Hi, welcome back. My name is Brittany, and today's video is my August TBR. It is August 4th, so we are a couple days into the month, and I need to figure out what the heck I'm reading. So let's just jump over to the iPad so we can get going. We are on the iPad now. Per usual, I have my blank page just to start brainstorming for August. The only thing I know for sure is my friend book club. We've dubbed ourselves the Book Bitches. We have a new meeting and have picked, I think, God of the Northwoods. So we're gonna add that. This is by Liz Moore, and I believe it follows kind of the events of a girl who disappears during summer camp, and she is part of a wealthy family. So that's obviously not good. I mean, any kid disappearing is not good, but when you have just kind of like high power figures, like money, just really important people involved, that definitely makes it more challenging. I'm going to try and, there we go, make a copy of that. So I think, I don't know if I'm going to listen or physically read this one or not. It is narrated by, I think, Saskia Marleveld, and she narrated The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn, which is about the like world's deadliest sniper, I think during World War II. I really liked her narration. So let me just add a few things here. We have audio, physical, and ebook. I'll kind of just put this one in the middle. The other book club I have, okay, so I already read Lessons in Chemistry for a coffee shop's book club that I like to go to. If I'm off for that one, I might just skim the book or just try to read a review. But I did enjoy Lessons in Chemistry when I read it, so that is the book for August's pick to read in September. So we'll see about that one. I'm just gonna make a note over here. I haven't watched the TV show, so maybe that would be a fun review of the book before that book club. So we will see about that. And then just to kind of look back on July's reading month and what I had planned to read for July, here's a little sneak peek of what I've read. I'm going to copy all of these books here on the screen over to my August plans, and then we'll just see what we've got. So I am currently in the middle of The Lesser Devil by Christopher Rucchio. This is actually a novella in between book 1 and 2 for the Sun Eater series, so I'd like to finish that. It's only a couple hours, and it is Crispin's point of view, Hadrian's younger brother. So Hadrian is off doing his own thing in book 1, and we get to see kind of what has happened to Crispin in the meantime. And then, if I can, move on to Howling Dark, which is the second book in that series. I think that'd be really cool. I did enjoy the first one, and I've enjoyed the novella, you know, the couple hours I've listened to, so that would be sweet. Okay, I've started a few things and I have not finished them. I'm about like 30 pages into Nestlings by Nat Cassidy, and I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, it's kind of like a little too early to tell, but it is about a couple who, like, they have a 9-month-old baby, I think, and the mother, Anna, she had a really traumatic birth experience, is wheelchair bound at this point, and they have kind of miraculously won this like fantastic, beautiful, like expensive, nice apartment on like the top of a apartment complex. And they're like, well, we need a new place, like we needed to upgrade anyways, and like we just won this really cool apartment lottery, like let's move. So they make like accessibility changes for her, and they have like a week to move in. So that story is kind of just now taking off. We've just gotten a little bit of insight where the realtor is like, please buy this house, like something's wrong. Like we get some bad vibes from her, and then she eats a cockroach and it was really gross. So I think that'll be a fun, nasty book from Nat Cassidy, who I've enjoyed. The other one I started, I don't know, it's pretty quick, but I think I'll try to finish it as well. This is definitely in the weird book genre. That is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. This features a woman who is a photographer. She's an artist, and her job is within her art world taking photographs of men's genitalia. So, hence Boy Parts. It's very weird. It definitely falls along the lines of like unhinged women. And then like I've read a few books where there's a like almost like a subgenre of like women in art or just like the art field in general. And this like totally fits this like unhinged artist's world. So I got, again, I think maybe about like 30, 50 pages into this one. So I think that'd be cool to finish. Sometimes I just bounce around from books, but when I know I have like open things, I get like weirdly stressed out. So that would be a cool one. My Loan for Bad Summer People ended. I did not get to that one, so we'll just take that off the list for now. I don't know if I'm feeling really any of these other books right now either. Maybe Assassin's Apprentice. I mean, I guess a good vampire book. Sorry, that book has been on my list for seriously way too long. I need to finish that soon. Final Girl Support Group kind of caught my eye too. So maybe we'll just do a little something like this. We're gonna delete those for now. That could be a weird book. Let's see what we have. That would be physical / ebook. I still need to buy that third book. Oh yeah, this could be audio or physical as well. Oops. And these are both physical. And this is a maybe, the blade itself. What's a maybe? If I already have the Sun Eater series, I pick up Assassin's Apprentice and try to get through the Justice of Kings, like the Empire of the Wolf. That's like 3 series. So I think I need to like pump the brakes on that. Just need to chill for a second. And then let's see. I don't know what format these would be, but there are 2 secret books that I want to check out, and they are going to remain a mystery for you. But I have 2 in mind that I would like to get to. I'm just gonna check out Audible real quick. There's like so many options all the time. Let's maybe grab a few more options, and then if there's any books that I am just like waiting for, not sure about, I do want to do like a fall TBR, kind of like spooky books, and then just like fall fantasy, just like fall reads in general. I might just pick from that list as well. But I just kind of want to see what is available. See if there's anything new. Because I do check these things kind of frequently, but sometimes they add new stuff. For me, like August, like makes me think about back to school. Like I'm hoping we still have some nice summer days left, but it does start to feel fall like for me here in Alaska. And then like September, October is definitely like fall vibes. But I start to feel some of that energy as we roll into August. So I think it would be fun to get into some of these fantasy books, to read some like fall based things. I don't know what I'm feeling though as far as an audiobook goes. Let's just check out Kindle Unlimited 2. Assistant to the Villain sounds fun. I've seen like funny things about that book. Also like Poor Things. I've heard the movie's pretty unhinged, but I think it would be fun to read that book. Okay, Slewfoot, I think would be a great fall book. I think that would be super fun. I could do Amira Grant as well. That's on Kindle Unlimited. That's nice. Oh, this one kind of caught my eye. The Bad Ones. This is by Melissa Albert. No. Yeah, The Bad Ones. I thought I said Bad Omens for a second. Goddess, count to 5 in the morning, who's alive? In the course of a single winter's night, 4 people will vanish without a trace from a small town. Nora's estranged best friend Becca is one of the lost. As Nora tries to untangle the truth of Becca's disappearance, she discovers a darkness in her town's past, as well as a string of coded messages Becca left for her to unravel. These clues lead Nora to a piece of local lore, a legendary goddess of forgotten origins who played a role in Nora's and Becca's own childhood games. An arresting crossover horror fantasy threaded with dark magic, The Bad Ones is a poison pen love letter to semi-toxic best friends, the occult power of child play and artistic creation, and a razor-thin line between make-believe and belief. I am always here for, like, toxic friends. I think that is a fun time. Okay, let me just jot some of these down. The Bad Ones. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, there's so many. I have not... Is this your short story? Cursed Bunny? Oh, there's a decent amount of things on Kindle Unlimited right now. I heard Gabby reads She Read the Har by David Sodergren, and she loved it. And it sounds so creepy. I could read Piglet. I have the physical copy. That one still just, I love the cover. Oh, The Seventh Bride I could do as an audiobook. That could be fun. Oh yeah, and I forgot Otessa Moshfegh has a short story collection. I'd like to get to that eventually. Alone with You in the Ether, I have not read by Olivia Blake yet, but that could be fun. Oh, and Belladonna. My girlfriend read that and said it's definitely like a perfect fall read. Oh, and Nothing to See Here. That one sounded cool too. There's so many. Okay, I thought I didn't know what I was feeling, but now there's like too many things that sound interesting. Isn't that how it goes? I've heard Seed is creepy. Oh, I haven't seen this cover before. That's a really cool cover for the Southern Reach series. Oh yeah, those are pretty. Those are super cool. I didn't love that series, but I read that before I was really into like strange fiction. I just like couldn't really track what was happening, and I think that's kind of the point. But I do really like those covers. Those ones are cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, nail down this list a little bit more, and then I'll catch back with you here soon. Okay, we are back, and I have a final August TBR for you guys. I did move a few things around so I can have a separate fall, like spooky, creepy, maybe back to school, dark academia kind of vibe for later. And if at any point during the month I want to look at that list, I'll just reference it. But I have a decent selection for August, I think, that kind of fits all of my randomness that I'm feeling right now. So just to start off with audiobooks, I already mentioned The Lesser Devil and The Howling Dark by Christopher Rucchio, just to continue the Sun Eater series. And then I am going to listen to The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It is narrated by Saskia Marleveld. I liked her narration when she did The Diamond Eye, and I have a feeling my girlfriends will mostly be reading the book, so I just want to be able to bring like the audiobook experience kind of to the table when we talk about it. I also think I want to listen to The Husbands, and this is by Holly Gramazio, and this follows a woman who basically, anytime her husband goes up into the attic, a different husband comes down, and it just explores different life paths, different choices, and it just sounds really intriguing. I've seen a lot of other booktubers talk about it recently, enjoy it, so I just kind of want to join the conversation. I think I will end up using an Audible credit for that one. I have a couple stocked up, so I'm excited. So the next book I think I want to pick up as an audiobook would be The Seventh Bride by T. Kingfisher. This is available on Kindle Unlimited as a book and an audiobook. This follows Rhea, who is the miller's daughter of low birth. So she is understandably surprised when a mysterious nobleman, Lord Craven, shows up at her doorstep and proposes marriage. Since commoners don't turn down lords, no matter how sinister they may seem, Rhea is forced to agree to the engagement. Lord Craven demands that Rhea visits his remote manor before the wedding. Upon arrival, she discovers that not only was her betrothed married 6 times before, but his previous wives were all imprisoned in his enchanted castle. Determined not to share their same fate, Rhea asserts her desire for freedom. In answer, Lord Craven gives Rhea a set of magical tasks to complete with a threat: come back before dawn or else I'll marry you. With time running out and each task more dangerous and bizarre than the last, Rhea must use her resourcefulness, compassion, and bravery to rally the other wives and defeat the sorcerer before he binds her to him forever. So I really enjoyed Swordheart, which I'll talk about in my July wrap-up. T. Kingfisher just has a really nice, cozy fantasy feel, and I'm just excited to keep checking out her backlog of other books she's written. So excited for this one. I'm going to keep Assassin's Apprentice on the list for August as well. I really want to get to this series, but it's also really daunting because once you get into Robin Hobb, you can continue on for her entire Realm of the Elderlings, which I think is a 16-book series. But I know so many people love it when they finally get into it, and I know Reagan from Peruse Project just finished the entire series and has nothing but good things to say. So I would like to get to this one. I know Sydney Bookworm is also reading this for her book club, and I kind of just I want to join the hype. I've had this book for a while now. I believe the audiobook is still available on Audible Plus, and then I have the physical copy too. So I'm not sure how I will pick this up, but I do have options. And as we go into fall, I just love an epic fantasy during this time of year, so if I can get started and make some progress, that would be sweet. The other physical books, these two you have seen before. the Final Girl Support Group, and Annibot. I think Annibot will just be a fun, quick, weird read. I've mentioned this before, but it does follow an AI girlfriend, and I think with the technology we have right now, I think this will be a really compelling read. And then some Grady Hendrix, because I'm still in like a spooky summer vibe, even though we're like transitioning, but we're not. I don't know. I know August is still summer for some places, but it does start to kind of cross over to fall for Alaska just a little bit. But I just think this would be a fun, quick thriller to get to. But basically, it's about a bunch of final girls who get together after surviving something horrible, and then they start disappearing again. So we will see who the final girl is in this book by Grady Hendrix. I also want to check out The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I read The Starless Sea, and I thought it was fine. It wasn't my new favorite, but I know some people really fell in love with it. I'm excited just to check out something different by her, and I think this magical, whimsical story will be kind of enjoyable for this time of year. So the night circus arrives without warning. No announcement preceded. It's simply there when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tents is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazements. It's called Le Cirque des Rêves, and it is only open at night. But behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway. A duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them both, this is a game in which only one can be left standing. Amidst the high stakes, Celia and Marco soon tumble headfirst into love, setting off a domino effect of dangerous consequences and leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. So this also just makes me think of Caraval by Stephanie Garber, but maybe a more adult version. I don't know if that's true, but I did enjoy that trilogy. So if I can get like a similar vibe, but maybe just slightly more adult, I think that would be fun. Yeah. And I also just wanted to pick up things from my bookshelves. Oh. We have a Kona Stories bookmark in here. That's always fun. I wonder if this book came from Hawaii. That would be cool. Anyways, we'll just pop that back in there. Yeah, I think this sounds fun, and I would like to get to another book by Erin Morgenstern. Lastly, kind of just when I was perusing my shelves, I have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. And I don't think this will be a fun read. I think it will be quite impactful. But this is about Agnes, who has been charged with the brutal murder of two men. She's been removed to her homeland's farthest reaches to an isolated farm in northern Iceland to await execution. Horrified at the prospect of housing convicted murderer, the family on the farm avoids Agnes. Only Toady, a priest Agnes has chosen to be her spiritual guardian, seeks to understand her. As the winter months pass and Agnes's death looms closer, the farmer's wife and daughter learn there is another side to the sensational tale they've heard. But will their knowledge be enough to save Agnes? Hannah Kent makes exhilaratingly real the saga of a doomed young woman who in the early 19th century became the last person to be publicly beheaded in Iceland. I think that's interesting that we already know she dies at the end, which will probably make her journey even more heartbreaking when we inevitably connect to her. So, excited and curious to read about Agnes and the last beheading in Iceland. As far as ebooks go, I already mentioned Nestlings by Nat Cassidy and Boy Parts by Eliza Clark, and then I am going to keep the bad ones on here as well. I think that just sounds interesting. Two other books that I would need to buy if I decide to pick up is Chouette by Claire Oshetsky. And I finished Poor Dear in July, which I'm excited to talk about, but I really loved her writing, her storytelling, and Chouette is her debut novel, and it sounds equally as fascinating. But this book is an exhilarating and provocative novel of motherhood and extremis. Tiny is pregnant. Her husband is delighted. You think this baby is going to be like you, but it's not like you at all, she warns him. This baby is an owl baby. When Chouette is born small and broken-winged, Tiny works around the clock to meet her daughter's needs. Left on her own to care for a child who seems more predatory bird than baby, Tiny vows to raise Chouette to be her authentic self. Even in those times when Chouette's behaviors grow violent and strange, Tiny's loving commitment to her daughter is unwavering. Tiny must decide whether Chouette should be raised to fit in or to be herself. I think this sounds really interesting. Some of the metaphors and just like the animal aspect that were in Poor Dear, I wonder if are in Chouette also. And I'll talk about more about Poor Dear in my July wrap-up. But after reading that book, I just was excited to see what else this author has written. The next book that I would potentially buy for August is The Ministry of Time, and this is by Kaylani Bradley. I have just heard about this book, heard about the buzzings, I don't know what it's about, so we're going to read it together. I just think the cover is kind of striking, and the things I've heard about it are really promising. But this is a time travel romance, a spy thriller, and workplace comedy. Welcome to the Ministry of Time. This is a debut novel set in a near future where a civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams and is, shortly after, told what the project is that she will be working on. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible, for the body, but also for the fabric of time-space. She is tasked with working as a bridge, living with, assisting, and monitoring the expat known as 1847, or Commander Graham Gore. As far as history is concerned, Commander Gore died on Sir John Franklin's doomed 1845 expedition to the Arctic, so he's a little disoriented to be living with an unmarried woman who regularly shows her calves, surrounded by outlandish concepts such as washing machines and Spotify, and the collapse of the British Empire. But with an appetite for discovery, a 7-day cigarette habit, and the support of a charming and chaotic cast of fellow expats, he soon adjusts. Over the course of the year, what the bridge initially thought would be, at best, a horrifically uncomfortable roommate dynamic evolves into something much deeper. The true shape of the ministry project comes to life. The bridge has fallen haphazardly, fervently in love, with the consequences she never could have imagined. The Ministry of Time asks, what does it mean to defy history when history is living in your house? Yeah, I think it sounds really fascinating. So, would like to check that out. And then my last 2 books are part of my secret TBR. I could not find them for holds or on Kindle Unlimited, Audible, anything like that. So I will have to buy those, and I will share those when I can. And then, if I can, I would like to at least start House of Leaves, just to start this reading vlog for my next weird book. Because I think this will take me a while. And I think just with the format of how strange it is, I think it would be worth a vlog. So if I could at least start that, that would be a win. So there you have it. That is my super chaotic, random August TBR, as usual. I feel like they're always chaotic. What are you excited to read in August? Let me know down below. And if there's anything I've talked about today that you're like hyped for, I also want to know, that we can gush about it together and I can move it to the top of my list. I hope you had a great July and happy reading. Bye!